pizza, wraps, and snacks.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Captain Thomas William Farrington, CBE, JP, 1900 through 1978. Captain Willie was the first Caymanian to be made a commander of the British Empire. He was also one of the first people elected to the Executive Council after the country's first constitution in 1959. He represented West Bay in the Assembly continuously for 55 years, a record unsurpassed by any politician in the Cayman Islands history. In the late 1940s, Captain Willie was sent by the Presbyterian Church to Jamaica to persuade the Synod Council to support the establishment of a high school in Cayman. That high school is now John Gray High School. Once his father retired, Captain Willie took over the family merchandise and shipping business. For more than 10 years after World War II, he provided the only regular freight service between Grand Cayman and Tampa. He was the founder of Cayman International Airways and served for many years on the Cayman Islands Cooperation and the Air Transport Licensing Authority. He was a Justice of the Peace, law agent, notary public, church elder, Sunday school teacher, and civic leader. He married Myrtle Ebanks in 1924, and the couple raised 4 children.
Songs Sweet as Spring. The 2023 Jubilate Orchestra and Choir in performance. The Hartwell Theatre, Wednesday, March 29, 5:30 p.m. A joint fundraising event by the Rotary Club of Grand Cayman and the Jubilate. Jubilate, inspiring young children in transition toward purpose and fulfillment through guidance. Reserve your ticket now through christianjvictory@gmail.com. Songs Sweet as Spring. Jubilate Orchestra and Choir, opening a universe of opportunity, supported by Rotary Central. Get your $50 ticket today. christianjvictory@gmail.com. All proceeds go to Rotary Club Grand Cayman and Jubilate. Help a child discover hidden talents. Jubilate and a Rotary, all the good you imagine.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dan. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. It's going to be another wonderful week, and we start off with a magnificent Monday as we invite you to be a part of the discussion. Our good friends from Cayman Enterprise City. Hey, stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village, convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email Talk Today at candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255. Courtesy of Flow.
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. Always a pleasure to be able to invite people to learn, laugh, and hopefully along the way we'll be able to enjoy much. I'm always grateful when there's an opportunity to talk about training, bringing people together and building bridges. Good afternoon to you, Miss Caitlin. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. Thanks for having us on.
All right. Well, I certainly want to use the time as, to be beneficial to all of us, but hopefully as our listeners to appreciate that our discussion sort of not just centers around Cayman Enterprise City and what it can be for the community, but maybe it will encourage others and expand the way we think and approach things. So if I would be so inclined as I did prior to coming on, ask you, although you need little introduction, if any, you and then to Ms. Hannah, a brief intro, please, and maybe a small bio even.
Yeah.
I'll take notes.
Oh my goodness. So my name is Caitlin Elphinstone. I'm Chief Marketing and Strategy Officer at Cayman Enterprise City, and I'm also a director of CEC's nonprofit organization called Enterprise Cayman. So today we're going to talk about the importance of partnerships and how, working together can really make a significant impact on community programming and events. So I'm excited to dive deep into that today.
And partnerships, something I think we need to look more at. It's not just a lucrative part where, you're a partner in a medical, legal, or financial sector. You're a partner with your children, your spouse, but you're also a partner with your child, your teacher. Well, to that partnerships group, Ms. Hannah, good afternoon, and would you be so kind as well?
Yeah, good afternoon. Thanks for having us. My name is Hannah Jackson. I'm the co-founder, career services manager at Connect by Nova. We're a nonprofit organization that focuses on providing free careers guidance and resources to Caymanians. And I'm really excited to be here with Caitlin from Cayman Enterprise City, talking about our upcoming partnership and the workshops that we'll be doing for young Caymanians and students.
And I think, as we look at it, and we can see that those different sort of workshops and the student, whether in the early days of high school or those very last days before graduation, or even the college student, there are probably some classes, and with the greatest respect of those of us who may have graduated 40, 50 years ago, the words career guidance weren't necessarily, that formalized in the curriculum. Ms. Hannah, today, even if when it is, we could still use some support, some guidance. How do we resume? It presented. What do we do in an interview? How do we navigate potential internships? How do we even make those connections that later on in our professional lives, we call it networking. So lots of things to consider.
I mean, there's a lot that encompasses career guidance and work readiness, right? It can be from resume writing to internship applications, interview preparation even.
Mm-hmm.
Connect works with individuals of all ages. So I've worked with 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds ready to get their college applications to somebody who's 55 and, is made redundant in COVID and has not had a resume, in the last 30 years, right? And is now looking at what does that look like in 2023 or 20, right? In this day and age. So there's a lot that encompasses that, and all respect to all of the teachers and all the schools and putting in their curriculums. But it is nice to have an extra resource and a backing company like Connect that can come in and provide a specialized workshop on a specific topic, because we're in it day in and day out as recruiters and HR professionals. So it's nice to have somebody to go to when you might just need an extra resource or boost.
And you positioned as a non-profit. For some, well, we can talk more about that, but many times we see these things as a profitable venture on the part of individuals, and they are profitable. But Caitlin, that partnership with Enterprise Cayman and Cayman Enterprise City, it also allows those returning graduates, those who are looking at graduation from high school, but even that young individual who's thinking, I kind of like this area. How do we?
Yeah. So Cayman Enterprise City is now home to almost 300 special economic zone projects, and they're in the knowledge and technology sectors. So we're creating new kind of fields and new opportunities for individuals to get involved with. So when we started our internship program, almost 11 years ago, we've noticed kind of along the way, you know what else we could do? We could really support these individuals in getting their skills together, right? Helping with the CVs, helping so that they can put their best foot forward. So when they're approaching some of these global companies, some of these multinational companies, they really know how to position themselves and really know how to go after those opportunities. So it's great to be able to partner with someone like Connect and Hannah to be able to deliver some of these resources free of cost, completely accessible for everyone.
Yeah. Well, Hannah, as we talk about upcoming events, we know, well, Wednesday, 3 weeks ago, I think, if my calendar is correct, you did have a free workshop. I did share it with a number of students. I didn't go back to ask, hey, did you check this out? But tell us what the resume writing one. What was that like? It was an hour long, I gather. Caitlin provided coffee, and I was
virtually on Teams. But no, our resume writing one is actually one of our most popular trainings because it is an hour-long session where we dive deep into everything you need to know about putting your resume together. So we go from what is the correct format to use, what are the details that you need to put in. Most importantly, make sure your email and phone is up to date, because if you send a resume at the end of the day, how is someone going to contact you, right? And then how to write a proper bullet point, work experience section. Specifically for students, there are a lot of areas they don't necessarily have work experience yet, right? Some of them are just looking to get into internships like the one at CEC. So how do you go about putting together a resume without any work experience? So walking them through that and letting them know that once they put a draft together, they can email us at Connect and we can sit down with them one-on-one, take a look at it before they send it out to applications. So I hope it was like a really informative session for all the students. We did get a lot of good feedback from it, and I hope
lots of engagement. So it's really fun the way that you interacted with the students and like put a high five up. Exactly. I thought that was super fun.
And that's the thing about training, especially increasingly some of us are. That's what we love, that nature of doing it virtually. For some of us, we like to be in person, but we see the transition and having to get used to it. I wanted to ask, and Hannah set the question up from CUC's perspective. The workshop is there; it's being facilitated ably, students participating. But from your end, what do you think of it?
Yeah, no, it's just a fantastic resource for individuals of everyone to kind of get involved with it. And the way that we've set up the workshops is that it kind of follows along the schedule of the internship program. So the first one's, setting up your workshop, and then we have like a one-on networking just before our networking event. So it's kind of just like, it just really tied in really nicely with what we were doing. So it's fantastic to be able to go above and beyond and offer this resource. Yeah.
Well, when we come back from this break, tell us more about not just only upcoming workshops, but some of the people who should be the benefits of getting. Let's get us, as I think Hannah shared, whether you are a student about to graduate high school, whether you are a university or somewhere else doing some tertiary training, are you that career professional who's been redundant, who's been stagnant in your own minds, in your own place? Maybe there's a way that you can look and rethink and re-energize. 50 is, just a number, right? All right, we're going to pause and take that break, and when we come back, more talk today.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
When you're craving something big, something tasty that gives you that lip-smacking satisfaction, something that hits the spot, there is nothing better than a footlong from Subway.
It's pretty tasty.
Filling and full of flavor. Try our new sweet onion steak teriyaki with a twist. Or the classic chicken teriyaki. Top it with green pepper, onions, cheese, and that sweet onion teriyaki sauce. All piled on your favorite artisanal bread. Satisfy that craving with a footlong from Subway.
Fresh, delicious, tasty, meaty.
Let's make it a meal with a drink, chips, and cookies. There is nothing better than a footlong from Subway.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget, our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Did you know that ValueMed Pharmacy has a free online prescription service? Managing your health and medical requirements has never been easier with ValueMed. Simply visit value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com and click the Refill Prescriptions tab on our website. Fill in the information for new prescriptions or refills and choose your preferred pickup location. ValueMed on Walkers Road or Town. Then bring in your original prescription from your doctor when picking up. There's no need to stand in line and wait for your prescription. Save time and pick up prescriptions at your convenience by visiting value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. Really great for this opportunity to have, I guess, scheduled features where people can appreciate the partnerships are important, but also the resources that are available. So from Ms. Caitlin Elphinstone together with Ms. Hannah Jackson. Connect in Cayman Enterprise City. Enterprise Cayman, it is, I think, for this small community, only evident when we start to appreciate how vast our resources and reach can be. Now, we're talking about some of the workshops and the like. As we talk about more of them, Caitlin, first to you. Sometimes these things are on offer. We try to make it as convenient in terms of when it is, where it is, how we access it. But for many of us, I'll get to it next time. And especially if it's quote-unquote free, we don't have to devote anything other than our time. Some of us don't subscribe. I'll ask you two things. Wonder why? And then secondly, who should subscribe to this? Who are we looking at?
Yeah, basically these workshops are open to anyone in the Cayman Islands, even abroad. If you see it online and you sign up, it's completely, because it's all online, we have the luxury of opening it up to as many people as possible who think that they will benefit from this. So that's a fantastic resource for everyone. Mm-hmm. And then we have our internship program. The deadline for that is the 11th of April, and that's for individuals between the ages of 18 and 25. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where we set off with that thinking. We're aiming for the 18 to 25-year-olds, but actually because it's online and these workshops are completely free, anybody can attend.
And with that internship program, these are all online as well, or sometimes a potential physical presence?
Sometimes. The majority of them are physical, so they're working with the global companies that are within the special economic zone. But sometimes the companies have a base in New York or in Toronto or in London, and they'll say, hey, we don't need an intern in our Cayman office, but we definitely need some help in London. So they'll set up a remote internship placement, which is a fantastic opportunity to put that on your CV and say, I know how to do it. I know how to do the 9 to 5 remote. Right. Even though it may not always be 9 to 5.
No, especially, yeah. But it's always, but that's an indication of what the real working life is like, many of us. So,
many of us right now are still doing agile working and working remote, right?
I like that you put the agile work.
Well, yeah, agile, because some companies have you in 2 days a week. If you can get an internship same way. I can give an example. Last year, I actually helped a student in the UK who's studying full-time with their CEC application, and she came back to Cayman for her internship and then went back to study. So that's why I think when Caitlin and I were talking about partnering on these workshops, the best idea was to have them remote so that, for example, our Caymanians overseas, whether you're in the US or UK, wherever that may be, can also tune in and learn about putting their resume together, foundations of interviewing, really everything that would set them up for success when getting an internship.
And I want to ask specifically about that, the foundation for interviewing, because I think many times we as the applicant may think we're appropriately attired, we're on time, we have our resume in whatever format is asked, and we sit there and we ask questions and we nod and we see engaged. But there's probably more to it than that, I think. I mean, I had to jump through hoops to get this job. They needed a backflip. I'm just kidding. No, but it's, you have to come that day prepared in a certain way.
Yeah, exactly. So the foundations of interviewing is also a 1 hour training. Usually our sessions are an hour long, but it is where we'll walk you through how to prepare for an interview from before the day to on that day specifically. We also provide everyone with an interview cheat sheet, which is what I like to call it, which is a document that they can download, they can use as a resource, putting down their interviewer's information, obviously answering that dreaded question, tell me about yourself, right? That a lot of people don't know how to answer, so preparing for that. And then we also walk them through the specific techniques on how to answer a competency-based question. So, for example, how do you use the STAR technique? Or what is a competency-based question, which some students might not even know that is a situational interview. So it's walking through every step it takes for an interview, but also answering any questions they may have. So it's an open forum.
If it's okay, and maybe we could do it here for a bit. Minister listening, and we're thinking about that. We want to apply for a job, but we're drilling the resume preparation. We're drilling, well, what if I'm called for an interview? What are some of the things, maybe 2 or 3 key things when we go to interview that we should ensure we understand, we know, we expect, and we have perhaps not a rehearse, but at least some level of preparation?
Well, top 3 tips would be first, research the company. Because usually in an interviewer will ask you, tell me about what you know about the company, tell me about CEC, tell me about Connect by Nova. So that's the first thing, research the company beforehand. Second is researching your interviewers. So for example, your interviewer may have done a course at UCCI, or they may also volunteer with Meals on Wheels, trying to find connections that will create a relationship in that interview. And then the third one would be automatically have your 3 questions ready at the end. And some people ask, well, they answered my questions during the interview, so I don't have any left. That's okay. That's great, because that means you set up interview questions that you know would have been asked. And then at the end you would just say, I did have questions written down, but you've answered them for me. Thank you very much.
Okay, there you go. Even if you didn't.
Well, let's hope you did.
Let's hope you did. No, and thanks for sharing, because many times we see it as the applicant, almost a one-sided thing. We want the job. Hopefully, we would have, at least in our application, understood where we're applying and done some. But you said do more. Now, we live in an era where information people a little bit more accessible. To what extent getting that information is being proactive and perhaps being something else? Your interview is, Caitlin Elphinstone. So do you go online and do an internet search?
I mean, the best place to go is LinkedIn. So if you don't have a LinkedIn yet, or if you haven't set up a LinkedIn, like CEC and Connect by Nova are partnering in August for a LinkedIn optimization training, and we'll go through everything about LinkedIn, why it's useful. It's the professional version of Facebook. I mean, I wouldn't go to Caitlin's Facebook profile to find out more about the company in CEC. That wouldn't tell me much. So LinkedIn is the perfect way to learn more about your interviewer and know exactly what that person does in the company, what is their role, and how you can potentially add value.
Yeah. And I mean, I know many listening would say, well, yeah, obviously, but I wanted to emphasize that because I don't think sometimes we appreciate the importance of not only trying to build a rapport with the person, but understanding, what is transpiring. Ms. Caitlin?
Yeah, definitely. See how we had to bring in the experts for this?
Yeah. You saw I was taking notes. I mean, but those are things that we should not take for granted. And I can imagine that young individual, high schooler, college, who may be a little bit more nervous, but also that other mature professional, still a bit nervous. Now that savvy individual who is looking at, other opportunities can still benefit as well. So your audience is quite varied as to who should be, considering doing these workshops.
Yeah, I mean, like Caitlin mentioned, it's open to everyone, and that's the key here, so that as many people can benefit from these topics as possible.
Now, Caitlin, we look at your reference, and as we go into our next break, perhaps a good time to ask, 300, thereabouts within the SEZ. The internships could be virtual, they could be physically here or elsewhere, depending on in the circumstance. I mean, Hannah referenced, the student overseas, but came back here. Give us some examples of some of the companies in the zone.
Yeah, so a lot of the internships, so they'll be in biotech, blockchain technology, fintech, tons and tons of individuals just working in like media companies. So the majority, about 75% of the companies in the special economic zone are in the tech sector.
Mm-hmm.
We also have maritime and aviation sector and a commodities and derivatives trading sector.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just one kind of portion of it. There's also all the spin-off departments. So each of these 300 companies, they might have an accounting team, they might have a marketing team, they might have an HR team. So even if you're not necessarily pursuing a tech career, please still do apply, because there's lots of opportunities where all these businesses need to operate and need support with other sectors.
With that, relative to the potential internships, are all of the companies willing to offer something, or have there only been like a few identified? This time around, we have X.
Yeah, so it's optional.
Mm-hmm.
So right now we aim to place 20 to 25 students each year,
Mm-hmm.
and we're growing that all the time. We have multiple socials throughout the year where we talk to
Mm-hmm.
our member base and, encourage them to take on an intern. And we do, from Enterprise Cayman, we do all the paperwork for the companies. So we do help with the matching, we help with the agreement forms and all of that. So all the company has to do is kind of step up and take on an internship. So it's growing,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a lot of work to kind of get these busy individuals signed up to take on an intern. But we're making the process really easy so that we can expand each year.
And I know you referenced that, they are in the tech sector, but all the different affiliated, departments within there. But specifically, let's say law, psychology, and the more technical areas. If there is a student listening who's thinking, I want to study one of those areas, would there be an opportunity? And they are not into accounting, I'm not into finance, I'm not into IT of any form, I'm not into the the other stuff.
It's funny you say that. I was at the careers fair with, actually, Hannah was there too, the booth with the chamber,
Mm-hmm.
and I was asking students like, what are you interested in pursuing? And let me see how I could tie that into what we're doing in the special economic zone. Some of them are like, I'd like to be a nurse or a
Mm-hmm.
doctor. It's quite popular now after COVID. And I was like, okay, well, we don't have like that typical, we don't have any patients in the zone, but we do have really cool companies that are working in med tech. So there's like people creating 3D spines. There's individuals working with stem cell technology. So there's all these like spin-off techs within different sector that these companies are doing. So if there's a unique sector that you're interested in, put that on your application form, and we'll do our very best to pair you up.
Yeah, I'm glad you emphasized that, because as student, sometimes there are a few of us who really know what we want.
Mm-hmm.
Then there are some who have interests across the board. Some are just, I'm not quite sure. Even all of those, they come in and let you decide whether this could be a pairing. As we go into the break, props to you, Hannah. I'm inclined to ask, if a student, let's just make it simple, who definitely wants to study law because her mother is a lawyer, her grandmother was a lawyer, her great-grandmother was a lawyer, all her aunts are lawyers. I mean, she's just going to be a lawyer, all right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's no law internship, as it were. But she wants to work in CEC. My view is getting an internship, even is complete outside of what you think you're going to do, what you may be studying, that itself could be helpful. What are your thoughts from a professional?
I mean, internships are the perfect way to figure out what you want to do with your career, right? And if you already know what you want, even better. If you don't, that's okay. That's the point of work experience and internships, right? If there is somebody who's, dead set on becoming a lawyer or a specific area, Connect also supports with that. So, for example, Caitlin actually just sent me over somebody who's not necessarily would fit the mold of CEC, and I will be helping them and directing them in their career in that path. So that's the great part about being a partner and partnering with organizations like Enterprise Cayman and Connect by Nova, is that we speak to each other. And for example, if I have somebody who would be perfect for CEC or Enterprise Cayman, I'll have them apply to Enterprise Cayman and the internship, and vice versa. So we are supporting each other and really bridging that gap so we can help as many Caymanians as possible.
Thank you. And perhaps for some, it'll cement their conviction and resolve. Yes, this is what I definitely want. I've tried other things. If others, they may see a connection. They may see, something else.
Yeah. Or they think this is exactly what I want, and they go and do it 9 to 5, and they're like, maybe not.
Yeah,
exactly.
I changed my mind.
Which is why I always say internships are important, because I much rather you figure out what you want to do before you go 4 years into a degree and get a degree into something that you then realize you don't actually enjoy.
Yeah. And increasingly too, that degree, I use the law as an example. You know, you don't have to be an advocate before the court. You can still get called to the bar. You can work in finance. You can be in media and, you know, looking at IP. There's so much more you can do, medical ethics and the like.
Yeah. Exactly.
So don't be limited by that mindset. Oh, well, you know, this is what you do because this is the title behind your name because of the degree that you got, right?
Yeah, I spoke to a student actually at the careers fair on Friday, and she said, I'm really interested in HR, but also I really like tech, like IT. And I was like, well, you could always be HR in an IT company. She goes, you know, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
You know, mixing the two that I really want to do, because like Caitlin said, in every company there is HR, there is accounts, there's IT, there's an IT team, right? I had our IT team fix Outlook for me this morning. So, you know, there's always a team or an area where you can fit into. So don't think that just because, you know, you don't necessarily want to go into med tech or, you know, cybersecurity, that's not the right road for you.
All right. Yeah. Well, when we come back, as we conclude the discussion, talk more about some of the upcoming workshops, give people a heads up to make a note. Maybe we can ask a few more extra things. That'll be fine? All right. Please rejoin us after the break.
Busy, busy, busy. Feel like there's not just enough hours in the day. Savannah Pharmacy, service to make your life easier. Now you can WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. And pickup is just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. Savannah Pharmacy, wholesome values with modern conveniences.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab. Blood test, x-ray and mammogram, all of that is MedLab. Affordable fees and friendly service, a full professional team. MedLab is always comfortable, MedLab is always clean. For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skin care, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drporterkman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Let me tell you something. I've been fishing our island since I was a boy, and it's getting harder and harder to get a good catch. Maybe it's because there are so many more people in Cayman than ever before. Maybe it's because of how the climate is changing. I don't know about that, but I do know that I want to be able to keep fishing and teach my children to fish one day as well. So it makes sense to me that we have certain areas and certain times of the year to fish for certain things. It feels unfair not to be allowed to fish where my dad had taught me to fish, but I know that being patient now means we can keep fishing for many more generations. We're all in this together, right?
For more info, download the Cayman DOE app or visit doe.ky.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And thanks too for the opportunity to maybe extend to not just our students and their parents, but to the wider, professional community, the opportunities that Cayman Enterprise City and Enterprise Cayman, and in this partnership with Connect by Nova to maybe bring us more to the fore. Right, Ms. Caitlin?
Yeah, absolutely. So Enterprise Cayman, it's a nonprofit sister organization to Cayman Enterprise City. We help with workforce development, so this is one of our programs, the internship program, helping individuals to get, these high-paying jobs within the knowledge and technology sectors. Mm-hmm. And we also run several programs for entrepreneurs. So if you're interested in starting your own business, it's a great opportunity to check out enterprisecayman.ky. We do business design competition where you can pitch for $10,000. We also have a Launch Labs incubator program where you can, at the end, pitch to investors to really help get your company off the ground. And a lot of that, just ties directly into some of these workshops that we're doing. You need to be able to present yourself professionally. You need to be able to network with individuals. There's all these skills that just spill over into every single industry. So it's so important to have these core skills, and it's great to have Connect come in and help to teach them.
So I want to remind the listeners in less than a month will be April the 12th, all right, right after the Easter Monday. That's a Wednesday, right? 12th, yeah. So there's another workshop coming up. But Ms. Hannah, first if I may ask, globally we see a change in employment landscape from agile working environments to all the other things. If I might ask you, the Cayman marketplace, the Cayman job market in particular, interested in your insight.
I mean, the Cayman job market is healthy at the moment. Our founding partners at Connect are CML and Nova Recruitment. So we founded Connect by Nova in September 2020, post-pandemic. And we get real insight into the day-to-day of the Cayman employment market. We actually, on Friday, just launched our 2023 salary guide for this year. So that can be downloaded at the Nova website, which is a great resource for anyone who is job seeking, any students, or even employed professionals, as well as companies who are looking into more in detail of what the Cayman landscape looks like. So that's the great way to figure out what salary bands are we seeing for specific job titles, what benefits are we looking at. Like you mentioned, agile working, that is still very much in play these days, but then also other flexible benefits that individuals are looking for.
Yeah. And we've seen employers increasingly start to respond to employees' requests. Hey, we don't mind extra money, but we also want other things. Maybe a little extra time, maybe a little bit more flexibility. But I look at the UK market and say Walt Disney or Disney, whatever it's called, and other large employers who are now saying, hey, we want you back in the workplace, and the employees are pushing back and saying, no, we like being remote, as it were. That compete for the Cayman spectrum.
I mean, Cayman, we do see that push and pull. I think it depends on the industry that you work in, specifically when it does come to the law firms and the more traditional, where you have to be in the office. Sometimes we do see more work from the office days. However, when it comes to, I feel like the tech industry, you could probably speak on this as well. We're definitely more remote, but then just with a couple of few in-office days, I think more for team building and to still have that work culture, right? Because as much as we do love working from home, I think we also do miss seeing our coworkers, meeting with them, that collaboration aspect. Because I can't, as much as I love doing Zoom meetings and Teams meetings, there is something special about sitting with your coworker during the day.
Yeah, definitely. We're seeing that as well within the special economic zone. We're building out spaces that are more collaborative. So like brainstorming rooms, really beautiful meeting rooms so you can have professional AGMs, that kind of thing. So people are kind of coming to the special economic zone for events, activities, coffee mornings, networking, that kind of thing. And then getting work done from home when it's nice and peaceful and quiet. Or the opposite, they'll have a private office in CEC and be able to get away from home for some quiet space. So it really depends on the individual,
From that now, I mean, we're seeing, and I'm more familiar with it, U.S.'s Bureau of Labor Statistics relative to jobs. And from your perspective, in the Cayman marketplace, employment trends going forward, the best prospects for employment, where do you see outlook? You're now hired as a chief economist for labor. You're advising the ministry. Where are those opportunities?
No. But when I say definitely look at the salary guide, that will give you a dive deep into the employment trends that we're seeing for 2023. So you can find that information. I'm going to give you the link now at...
Okay, I'll take it.
I'll give it to you. But you can download the salary guide at www.nova.ky/salary-guide. And in there, it is a full document that goes through what the trends we're going to see in 2023, what employers are looking at, what employers are looking for, or employees are looking for, and exactly what you were saying. So definitely go ahead and download that because it gives you more information than what I could get out of in the next 2
And then that's informative because it may help that prospective student in that decision in terms of study, that upwardly mobile career professional.
Yeah, and I mean, CML, Nova, and Connect have been putting out the salary guide for at least the last 5 years. So we do it every single year so that we can help employers and employees
it must
find
help
out the information.
To kind of give them the confidence to say, that question, right? What are your salary expectations?
Exactly.
Well, you can, with that guide, you can answer it confidently and be like, this is
let me ask, in the Cayman jurisdiction, in the absence of direct taxation, how, with the greatest respect, how comfortable can we be that the information being provided? And it's very much similar to what we may see in the census, for instance. The question as to whether people would honestly, I make $1 million a day. They might say, I want to make $1,000 a day. How comfortable are we that the information provided is accurate?
So this information that is in the guide is actually from placements that have been made across our island. So it's not information that we ask an individual saying, well, what would you like to make? Right? It is actual real-time data of these are the placements that we're seeing in these sectors and with our clients. So we sit down with companies saying, what are the salaries that you offer? What are the benefits that you offer? What have you seen in changes of trends? So it is going out to our community, speaking with them, also dealing with the data that we have.
So quite different from the census where we have a form, we fill it out, and you say how much do you make, and the person records it, and you trust the person to be honest or understanding. And I hope I say this as respect for the census data is important for those of us who are asked to serve as enumerators, to those of us who are submitting information. It's confidential, it's protected under law. Please be honest in it. It's only helpful. But in your case, this is action information. All right. Well, that
this is coming from the companies directly and from the placements that we make across interest rates.
Well, it's something interesting. I mean, we can look at things and we can spot anomalies. We can see different, but at least we have some guide.
Yeah.
All right. See, we learn things if we ask questions, right? All right. So the 12th of April.
Deadline. Yep. Yeah. It's coming up.
For the next workshop.
Yep.
And then the 11th, I think you said, is for the internship. So
Exactly.
2 key dates.
Yep.
Easter Monday is the holiday before, so get it in before then. All right. What else as we close out the discussion? We have some other heads up that we want to share.
I just want to share the dates for the upcoming trainings, just so that everyone is aware. So we do have the internship program deadline, which is April 11th. And then the day after that, we are doing the Foundations of Interviewing training on April 12th. The following month, we'll be doing a Make the Most Out of Your Internship training. So we're going to talk about getting a reference from your employer, which is super important for when you want to apply to your next internship or work experience. And then we'll also be doing, CEC will be doing a financial literacy one in June, on June 14th. So that is a key date there for anyone who wants to find out more about finances, personal budgeting, exactly what they need to know with their money that's coming in, going out. And then July and August, we have 2 key dates as well. July 12th, we'll be doing a Networking 101 training, and then August 9th, a LinkedIn optimization. So a lot of fun and exciting, informative topics coming up in the next couple months. So do keep an eye out. Follow CEC, Enterprise Cayman, and Connect on social media, and you can keep up to date with all of our upcoming trainings.
Thanks so much. And closing thoughts, Ms. Caitlin?
Yeah, definitely get involved. Everybody who applies for the internship program gets invited to all sorts of networking events and activities. So even if you don't necessarily get placed, please still do apply, because it's a great opportunity for you to engage and connect.
All right, well, thanks very much to both of you. And please, keep us posted how we can partner, how we can continue to invite people. Thanks, too, for these, workshops. So Monday brings great promise and potential for those who are poised and purposeful. So it's going to be great. All right, I'm going to pause and take a break. And when we come back, our friends, from the Center Resident Training Center will be our guests. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Continuing the Caymanian tradition.
Keep my ground so clean.
The heart and soul of the Cayman people. Thank you for keeping the culture alive.
Read the news every day. From Easton to Georgetown, down into West Bay.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The headline news is brought to you by Health Services Authority.
At about 8 p.m. on Friday, March 17th, officers had reason to stop and search a vehicle in Georgetown, which was suspected to have been involved in a robbery which had taken place at a business on Eastern Avenue early the same morning. The lone occupant of the vehicle, a man aged 29 of Georgetown, was arrested on suspicion of robbery in relation to that incident. He has been granted police bail pending further investigation. Good afternoon, I'm Deanna Anglin with your headlines and news elsewhere. Colombian President Gustavo Petro has suspended a ceasefire with the country's main drug trafficking cartel, the Gulf Clan. He accused it of sowing anxiety and terror and ordered the security forces to reactivate their military operations against the criminal gang. The ceasefire had been agreed in December as part of the president's plan for total peace in Colombia. Its suspension is a major blow to Mr. Petro's attempt to end armed conflict. And Donald Trump claims he will be arrested on Tuesday on charges stemming from an investigation into a $130,000 payout to porn star Stormy Daniels in 2016. If he is, he would be the first former president to face criminal charges. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
The headline news are brought to you by Health Services Authority.
HSA's cardiology clinic is now located at Smith Road Medical Center. Our cardiology team provides expert care and treatment for heart conditions such as coronary artery disease, heart failure, arrhythmias, hypertension, congenital heart diseases, among others. The new location offers state-of-the-art cardiac diagnostic testing, including echocardiograms, ECGs, and stress tests. To contact, call 949-8600. At HSA, your heart matters to us.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Born in Watering Place, Cayman-Brac, on the 8th day of July, 1936, Captain Fred Elman Scott was the fifth child born to Nalio and Vera Scott. Captain Scott worked the seas for over 52 years, a career which saw him span the global currents. In 1953, he joined his first ship, the Beretta, a local cargo vessel, signing on as deck boy, working his way up to bosun. In 1955, he joined National Bulk Carriers, working his way up to able-bodied seaman. In 1959, he signed on the Ore Meteor to go to Marine School in New York, attaining a third mate's license. He joined the Bulk Petrel as third officer, where during one voyage he was solely responsible for using Morse lamp signaling to save a sister ship which had run aground. He continued to flourish and attained second mate, chief mate, master mariner, and radio operator licenses. In October of 1969, he took a job on oil exploration ships as a captain in Brazil. Captain Scott would later move from Brazil, where he spent the next 20 years piloting cruise ships and tankers in Grand Cayman.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman-Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Talk to Dick. But I do have some questions. Talk to Dick.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk to Dick.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thanks very much for joining us. I'm always excited, to be able to chat with our friends from the Sunrise Adult Training Center. And you might think, well, it's probably because it's all my family and friends. Yes, of course. Well, Ms. Kim Levoden, good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
Good afternoon, sir. It's a pleasure to be here again with you, and thank you for making time to have us this afternoon.
Well, it is truly an honor. I hope you feel the love and the warmth of our welcome.
1000%. So you've got family and friends around the table, but you've got all kinds of extended people here joining us today as well. So we're pleased to introduce everybody. Would you like me to go to
Yes,
the
ma'am.
table?
True, you could we do that?
All right, I sure can.
Okay.
Okay, so we are here today to talk about our inclusive and adaptive martial arts program for a small group of very important ladies at the center. And here at the table to my left, I have Miss Martika Tibbetts. She's one of our clients who is taking part in that group. I have Mrs. Katie Dangerfield, who's one of our occupational therapists at the center, and the group is led through the occupational therapy team. So we've got the girls group happening through there. We've got Miss Alyssa Archer Cooper, who is an educational specialist from the Wellness Center. And we have Mrs. Sloan Farr-Strang, who is all sorts of things at the Wellness Center. So I'll get her to give you her exact title, because I know that she leads a great number of teams and programs at the center, at the Wellness Center there. And we're so grateful to have our Wellness Center team community partners here with us today, because it's through collaboration that we're able to offer so many awesome services and programs to our clients as well.
Well, before we ask, Ms. Tibbetts to join us, perhaps first, Ms. Kim, we see the benefit of boxing or any other sort of martial arts program. The physical fitness, the mental agility, the camaraderie, the confidence. There's so much for all of us, irrespective of the age. It doesn't have to be combative. Why this program? And then perhaps to Ms. Stone first before Ms. Tibbetts. But
well, I think I'll actually turn it over to this side of the table.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I think that my job is at the top to kind of make sure that collaboration happens with as many community partners as possible, and that any sort of program and service that we offer at the center meets the needs of our clients. And when we look at the Honoring Women Month and the theme for this year, which is embracing equity, and looking at the needs of our clients to have that extra special bespoke approach, give them what they need to build their confidence and their physical skills, their cognitive skills, anything that the center can offer to upskill our clients, to make sure that they have that just right step up to be on equal footing with everybody else. This program is part of that offering, part of expanding what we offer to make sure that they have equity in the workplace and also in life. But in terms of specific details, I will hand it over actually to Miss Alyssa, who can explain in greater detail.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. So this martial arts program essentially really helps with not only discipline, but just assertiveness, confidence, building those types of things. And it's something that I'm extremely passionate about. Coming into it, you are learning how to defend yourself, but you're also learning how to be assertive in situations that may or may not be dangerous.
Yeah,
right?
the situational awareness and like.
Exactly, situational awareness, just learning about your own safety, your own self-awareness. And that's what I really want to be able to teach with this program.
So it's not just physical defense, but mental defense in a sense. I mean, how do you disarm a situation? How do you assess it? Ms. Sloan?
Well, I mean, I really want to thank Sunrise Center for, continuing to partner with us and collaborate with us. It's just been a wonderful ongoing opportunity for us to grow together. And, as Alyssa said, there's significant benefits to having adapted recreational or sporting leisure activities for individuals of all abilities. The specific purpose of this group was, just as Miss Alyssa said, was to empower the individuals that were participating in the group. But the reality is that the area of adaptive sports and active recreation is, for individuals of all abilities, is growing around the world. And in Cayman, there has been lesser opportunities for that. And we truly felt that this was a great opportunity, and the Wellness Center does have a long history of providing various services to individuals of all abilities. We've provided Football for All since 2013. more recently, we provided the Butterfly Connection, which allowed for a social and leisure space for neurodiverse girls and women. And that was in October of 2021. We've provided an 8-week employment skills and community access program in 2019 for individuals of all disabilities, abilities. And most recently, we've purchased a client transportation vehicle to ensure that we're able to provide that access to community opportunities and that inclusion and just that empowerment through knowing that there's no reason why anyone should be excluded from being in the community. And, just empowering everyone to feel that way. And Miss Alyssa is multi-talented, and we're very excited to have her on the team. And, like I said, this partnership has already shown an amazing results, and we're really excited that we've been able to provide it.
If I might know, Miss Katie, from that perspective, you have your clientele, and all of us, irrespective of our age or the space in which we live, and as we bring Ms. Tibbetts into it, your clientele, this sort of environment, this opportunity, it's not just empowering, assertive, it's not just, what more? What else do you want to share?
Well, it actually came from discussions that we had with the ladies themselves, who it's part of the Women's Health and Wellbeing group. So they were able to identify things that they wanted to explore, areas that they needed to or wanted to develop a little bit more. So they're very much at the stage where they're kind of navigating the process of becoming more independent, looking to the future, looking at relationships, employment. And it came from the ladies themselves who actually identified that self-defence was something that were skills that they wanted to learn. And also, it's like we've said, it's not just the practical side of the skills that we're learning, but also things around self-confidence, things around empowerment, skills around self-esteem, resilience. So it's kind of helping holistically with the ladies as they mature, as they grow and develop. And I've already seen, we're on week 3 now, and I've already seen a difference with the ladies that are participating. They've been practicing outside of class. They've been really keen to demonstrate what they've learnt to their peers and to some staff members. Very safely. And yet it's just been fantastic to see the growth, even just in like this 3 weeks. We're just halfway through.
I was going to invite Ms. Tibbetts. I mean, what has it been like? Can you tell us your perspective, share with us your experience so far?
Well, the self-defense class has helped me a lot in my confidence when I talk to people. And when I meet new people.
It's interesting that you say that, because I think sometimes, with you, Ms. Tibbetts, if you allow us to ask, we see being physically active. You're going to whatever that's called, to exercise, and you're getting healthier physically. Many people don't appreciate what you just shared. It actually helps you to socialize, talk to people, even the people you know all the time, your co-workers, people you see. You found that as well, huh? What is that like? I mean,
it's
if I may ask, are you more willing now to go up to someone and start a conversation?
Yeah.
As opposed to before, well, just wait till they say something to me, because I'm not quite sure where to start. You feel more confident, right?
Yeah.
Hey, what are you saying? Let's go get some chocolate cake.
And I think, Martika, you would probably say that that's important, not just at the center, but I know that Martika also works. So, so it's important to be able to have good conversations with your colleagues and with your supervisors and with other people that you may encounter in the hotel. So, yeah.
And even developing your confidence, Martika, in your participation in the group. You're one of the first to put your hand up to offer to demonstrate with Miss Alyssa. And you're really good at being able to encourage other clients as well, and we've been seeing kind of the relationship build within the group as well.
Absolutely.
Which is fantastic.
Even today's participation. Martika, have you been on the radio before?
No.
Great.
No.
So there we go.
All right. We want to ask Miss Alyssa something.
Sure.
And then come back to Miss Martika.
Yeah.
We understand, and I think Miss Kimberly probably sent me studies for how to tell me I'm just kidding, where young people, but women in particular, who are engaged in these activities, these wholesome activities, make better decisions. You know, young people, when they're physical active, hopefully being nurtured by parents or other responsible adults, they make better life choices as they go along. Right?
Absolutely, yeah. I think what martial arts and what self-defense really brings is the sense of commitment, a sense of discipline, a sense of all the things that we mentioned, confidence. When you're able to walk into a room with that confidence, with that discipline, with that commitment that you're bringing to learning something new, to learning how to defend yourself, I've definitely seen within the years that I've been, able to just teach, not only practice, but teach. First of all, I've seen it in my own life, and then I've been able to see it in people that I've been able to train as well. So I feel like there is such a direct correlation between coming in, practicing, being committed to that practice, and then getting out there and making those good life choices.
Okay. If it'd be okay, would you help us to understand? I mean, we're talking about training, we're talking, martial arts, and people have a, certain perception.
Sure.
Tell us about what your classes are like. What is this training like? I mean,
oh yeah,
is it Bruce Lee kind of thing?
Definitely not. I feel like a lot of people have this sort of perception that if you are in martial arts, you're this, you're aggressive and you're a certain way. And that's not what I try to bring into the classes. That's not what it is, right? There's a lot of mindfulness that goes into it. I like to start off the classes, by just very calmly, either a breathing exercise or a warm-up. And then from there, this is a 6-week program. So I've really divided these 6 weeks into discussing and talking about and demonstrating different aspects of self-defense each week. So we'll start with punches. We'll start with learning how to punch. We'll start with stances. And then from there it'll get into kicks, blocks, strikes. So you see that each class focuses on something different. The ladies have identified fitness as a goal as well. So that is definitely something that I like to incorporate. So a little bit of like cardio. And then we just kind of ended off with a nice breathing technique, or a nice stretching, cool down, calm down, cool down exercise. And then each class is a build up from the classes before, right?
So once a week?
Yes, exactly.
5 hours a day?
we wish then we would be at the Bruce Lee Center.
We definitely would be at the Bruce Lee Center.
I think I know.
So what we're doing right now is about an hour and a half for 6 weeks. So an hour and a half per week.
Yeah. Which is good. Ms. Tibbetts, if I may then ask, I mean, in addition to all other stuff, what sort of changes or differences have you seen? Are you physically stronger? Tell me about how this has impacted you so far.
It's impacted me now that I've seen it.
Do you feel like you're stronger?
I feel stronger and I feel less vulnerable.
Very, very key. More confident, less vulnerable.
Yeah, I think that last statement is also so important for the clients that we serve. I mean, as a woman, as a lady myself, I mean, I think that all of us that go through life struggle at times with feeling vulnerable, and needing then to seek out the skills and training necessary to help us to feel healthy and well, and safe at all times. And I think that it's important to note as we look at our overall culture and our overall countries, you know, the reality is, as much as we would like to say that yes, Cayman is very progressive and everybody's the same, all you know, women and men and children and everybody's all treated the same. The reality is that we're really no different still. We still have the same struggles as everywhere else in this world, where we do have, unfortunately, you know, instances of abuse and of other, you know, violent situations or times when people can be taken advantage of. When you belong to a vulnerable group, you are at a greater risk of having situations or being in situations that put you at risk, right?
Exactly.
And I mean, as a government, as a center, as a country, we work towards eliminating that, right? That's our goal. So at a policy level, of course, our ministry is very involved in writing the new safeguarding legislation and policy that has to do with protecting those people, vulnerable adults, right? Whether they're older persons, older people in our society that are at risk as well, or whether they're the people that we serve at Sunrise, so people with special needs and disabilities. But at a center level, our collaboration with wellness and these classes are so important because that's something practical that we can give our ladies, practical skills that nobody can take away from them, that can help them to feel more confident, that can give them actual practical skills that, Lord forbid, but in anybody's life, if they ever found themselves in a position where they needed to use it, there we go, right?
If I may ask Ms. Nona, I mean, the idea that, and then to Ms. Alyssa, feeling vulnerable for many of us, that almost equips us being a victim in a sense. We feel weak and then lacking that sort of empowerment. So whether you're a physician or some mental health professional or lawyer, or whether you're 6'5" and seem to be imposing, you can be vulnerable. How in our professional lives do we ensure that also translates into our personal lives?
I mean, I am not a martial arts expert.
Me either. I play one on radio.
And I think from my perspective, this is certainly not something I could have ever taught. But I think that just in general, Sunrise allows Miss Alyssa to provide this in a really fun and safe and encouraging environment, which I think allows these skills to develop so much. And Miss Alyssa might need to start providing it at the Wellness Center too, because that's another fun, safe, encouraging environment, right? And I don't think it should stop there. I think that every woman deserves the ability to feel safe.
In all environments.
In all environments.
Right.
And not every environment has a Miss Alyssa to be able to provide that feeling of safety and security and empowerment. And I think it was just a really important opportunity that I'm really thankful for all the individuals at Sunrise, really, because it's not necessarily just that group. I think it trickles down, and the staff, they see the impact. And
I was just going to say, actually, Miss Katie can probably speak to this, but when a lot of the staff heard that we were having the martial arts training, and then we got a lot of questions, or at least I did. Well, Miss Kim, are we going to have a staff group too?
But this is what I was going to get at, because I think, as Miss Stone shared, it's not just the delivery from the professional, to the client. It's the impact that will have on the extended family and the extended community. And whether you're a martial arts expert, but the situational awareness that you referenced, Ms. Alyssa, just your gait when you're walking, you're aware, you're poised and purpose, your key is in hand, your destination, but that can help, as Ms. Tibbetts shared. I don't feel as vulnerable.
Exactly.
Help us all.
Exactly. And one thing that I'd really love to focus on in the last session, so after they've learned the punches, the kicks, the strikes, the very real practical situations, the last class is actually reserved for talking about safety tips. And I'd actually like to sit with these ladies and help them to craft their own personal safety plan. So whether it's, and this could be, something that really stuck out from them from the session, whether it's a certain type of block or a certain type of punch, to have that somewhere, like whether it's on an index card or just something that they can have in their back pocket. Like we said, Lord forbid that anything were to ever happen to these ladies, right? But these what I've learned over the years of teaching and practicing martial arts is it almost becomes a little bit instinctual.
Yeah.
So something happens and you're automatically able to, block or this or that. And so for me, when we speak about vulnerability and we speak about confidence and all of that, that is what I want to kind of end the program with.
Yeah. Well, as we go to Miss Katie Prout, so let me just ask you, that block can be a physical as well as a verbal. The environment can be at home, at work, or in the supermarket. That person may be the opposite sex, it may be somebody else, it may be a question, it may be a comment, it may be just a persona. So giving them that tool gives them the independence, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Huh. See that? I was paying
Sometimes
attention.
even the confidence to say no and to stick up for yourself.
This is it.
Is the most important thing that we could give people.
I mean, I'll be mindful and perhaps Ms. Katie, through you, I'll ask this. We look at the clientele, and I think everybody knows that the Sunrise Elder Training Center is special. I remember the early days of clearing the bush and getting the first center. These are us. We are them, and we should not exclude any in the community just because of whichever. Imagine they exclude all short people. I wouldn't have a space. So
Neither would I.
Yeah, we can't have that. Right?
We'd have to open our own center.
And we should. I have a nominee for president. Although he's another president. But thank you for laughing, Ms. Katie. That's so nice of you. Life is about laughter as much, right? And laughter comes when we're more confident in life, when we're surrounded by supportive people. I mean, look at that wonderful smile Ms. Pratika has, Tell us though.
Yeah, that's very true, because one of the topics that, again, the ladies have identified that they're wanting to look at within the broader realms of the women's health group is around mental health as well, and health and well-being. And so it ties in very nicely to other topics that we're going to be looking at around confidence, around anxiety, around self-esteem, around assertiveness. So it's, like we said at the beginning, it's not just around the physical skills that you learn, but it is really good in terms of your mental health as well. Right. And also in terms of feeling independent. I mean, the ladies are, they're wanting to live their life to the fullest, which rightly so they deserve to do.
Exactly.
Being independent, integrated into the community and in employment and friendships and relationships. And so it just kind of sets the scene for this next part of their life as well.
Yeah. Thank you. And as we close our discussion, first, to you, Ms. Alyssa, and Ms. Sloan, and through you, Ms. Kim, and Ms. Tibbetts, to close us out. But as Katie shared, we sometimes look at individuals and we have perceptions and we make assumptions. And I think Katie said it quite well. We're all people. We all want a level of independence as much. We all want those relationships, whatever they form, whether it's employment in some way. This gives us as a community to look and see, well, they're not as tall as us, or they're taller than us. There's no difference.
There's no difference.
Right?
There is no difference.
They're more alike. And I can't run the 100 meters as fast as Carl Lewis, but I can watch him on TV. What does this do for us and for us as a community in terms of integration and unification?
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic question. I think there are a lot of misconceptions out there. There's a lot of stigma out there, and it's all over the world. I'm originally from Canada, so I had that.
I'm just kidding. You going to Pearson Airport now?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
It's intense. But just to speak to some of the experience, I've had the pleasure of being able to deliver some of those programs there, and so it's such an exciting opportunity to be able to take the skills that were there and bring them over to serve the Caymanian community as well, since working with the Wellness Center. But I think it's just so incredibly important to recognize that we really are a lot more alike, than we think, right? Yeah. And so I think with this, it's an opportunity to just, to show that, and not to say that, you have to come in and prove something to other people. It's just, we're living in this world, we're living our lives, and we are a lot more alike than we think.
I'm glad you said that, because I'm seeing a reflection. If I had my hair a little bit longer, we would be twinsies.
Definitely.
No, but I'm glad that we start to see that we are not just our brother's keeper, we are alike. And that likeness, Miss Sloan, let's focus on that. Let's understand that whether we work in the office with our colleagues, whether we have clientele, or whether we're out shopping and we're in a supermarket thinking, this zucchini would be good with a little squash and a little bit of seeds. So I just think a recipe for this evening I have in mind. But what would you say to those listening and to the wider community in terms of those partnerships?
I just think public and private partnerships are really, really important. And no one can do everything. And we are all only one person or one organization. And we all have different skill sets. And so to improve the lives of everyone, we should be collaborating. And we should be collaborating to empower, collaborating to upskill, and collaborating just to show everyone that, again, you know, like as Alyssa said, like we all deserve the opportunities that each other can provide.
That's it. And you know, one brings something to the table that will complement another. Ms. Tibbetts, through you, you know, to your team members, family, and to our wider community, what would you want to say to us as you finish up our discussion?
Just to embrace each other and remember you're not alone.
Not alone, Well, that's so nice, even though the bed may be empty. Just kidding. And Miss Kimberly, always a pleasure. Final thoughts, Mom.
Final thoughts. Again, thank you for having us today. And just to say how appreciative we are of Wellness Center as a community partner and the skills and the impact that they are giving to our clients and our staff through their work with us. And just an encouraging word, Martika, you are fantastic and you are amazing. And you and all of the ladies in your group are doing so well. And we are proud of you all every single day. And thank you, Miss Katie, for you and your team facilitating such a lovely, larger women's group as well. And just to say that I echo what Miss Sloan said in that we all bring unique talents and skills. Everybody in the community has something to offer. Our clients have a million things to offer the community, and our community is so much better because we have our guys. And likewise, just as we partner with Wellness Center, we are very keen to partner with any organization in the community. Our clients are no different than any one of us. They have hopes and dreams for their futures in every single area of life, just like all of us do. And therefore, our programming at Sunrise is always going to be changing and evolving to meet the needs of the clients that we have at any given time. And we try to be as client-centered and as responsive as we can. So anything that's identified by our clients and need, such as what has evolved now into the broader women's group, we will do it. We will make it. You know that we have a history of doing things with cardboard and love and spit and all of whatever we need to do. And we have a bright future ahead of us as well with a good supportive ministry team as well. So, you know, the call is out there. If you are an organization in the community and you want to find out more about Sunrise, certainly give me a call at 938-3330. If you have a young person in your life or an older person in your life that you think would benefit from the services that the center would provide, certainly you can call us at 938-3330, or you can email me at kimberly.voden@gov.ky. So kimberly.voaden@gov.ky. I'd be happy to speak with you and send you some more information. We're always looking for more community partners. We're always so grateful for the love and the support that we get from the community, and especially from Radio Cayman, because without you giving us this platform to talk on, then we wouldn't have this opportunity today.
Always a pleasure for us. You know, getting that. You know, her email should be sang K-I-M-B-R.
Can you come and make me a jingle?
I think that should be B-O-A-D. No, but thank you
at
all.
gov.ky.
Only on a Monday, man. Imagine having chocolate today. but thank you all so much. It warms my heart. I'm so, you know, so blessed to be in a part of the society. So.
We've got two beautiful ladies who are here in purple, and of course the color of this month is purple, and honoring Women Month. And thank you for helping us embrace equity today, because your chance to have all of us on this radio station is just enough support, is the right amount of support to help us to be equal in our vocalization of what we need for our clients.
Color purple, color of change, color of many things.
Color of royalty.
That too,
honor.
Yeah.
Lots of good things to do with purple.
And to Miss Dangerfield, she may not be the rod in the bonds she will may bring us to the west, but it's always good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having
us.
us.
Ladies, thank you for
so much.
All right, let's pause and take a break, and let's see how each of us can embrace what martial arts brings to us. It's not about competition. It's not even necessarily, about the aggressiveness. It's about the presence of mind. All right, so think about it. After the break, another guest, another topic. And even though she hails from the BRAC, just still a good person. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
They say variety is the spice of life. And that's why at Subway, we are introducing the new Boneless Hot Sub.
Say what?
The premium sub brings new ingredients like spicy breaded boneless chicken, French's crispy fried onions, and buffalo wing sauce, bringing a zesty and flavorful experience with every bite. Add some of your favorite veggies, cheese, and ranch sauce of your choice of freshly baked bread for the ultimate boneless hot sub. For a little spice in your life, try the new Boneless Hot Sub from Subway.
So good and tasty.
And make it a meal with a drink and chips or cookies. Subway. Eat fresh.
J and Money touching down again. Now you can send your US dollars at any location on island, including the BRAC. It's easy. Just walk with your US dollars. No need to convert to CI. This is another convenient service available at J and Money. They always find a way to make it easier and hassle-free. So remember, when you need to send your money and you only have US dollars, don't ever think of what to do. Just head straight to any J and Money location and send your money the fast, convenient, and affordable J and Money. J and Money, touching down again. J and Money, ranga to la friend.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctor's Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. And if I may, to the highest, in our civil service, say how commendable it is for the example we set, and to know that the diligence, the absolute determination, but the charm, charisma, camaraderie that they bring to the office and to their environment is always commendable, and I'm honored that Ms. Ventisha Connolly will join us. Not just as the sort of the events manager over the Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture, and Heritage, right?
Yep.
If I might say, in my attempt at trying to be jovial just before the break, she's from the back, but she's still okay. You're like family, man. There's something that I find with Cameron-Brackers and West Bay is, we're almost like cousins.
We almost cousins.
Almost cousins.
We almost cousins.
And you are, and if I say this and anybody is offended, let me know so I can apologize. But you're a remarkable, just a wonderful, wonderful person. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sterling, and good afternoon to the listening audience. Good afternoon, especially to my folks over on the Sister Islands.
Indeed.
Hope you're enjoying the rain that's still coming our way since this weekend's agriculture show. Yeah. It was magnificent. I have to give props to the committee for the Cayman-Brac Agriculture Show. It was a fantastic show to come back to after 3 years. And even with all the blessings from above with the rain, people stayed, people came, people enjoyed it. So I just,
I regret not taking up the opportunity in the last, just this month alone, the many offers to go to the back, especially the weekend. So I will, and I hopefully when I come that they'll feel the love that I bring, because it's just a special place there, man.
Yeah, and they'll welcome you with
You're
open arms.
a great ambassador. I know you're busy. I know you, like all your colleagues in the ministry, you have much on. And, Culture Day is coming up.
Culture Day. We have to keep our little local colloquial sayings there. So, yes, this coming Friday, the 24th of March, is Dress for Culture Day. But it's also Culture Day at GAB.
Yeah, and it has to be... Through you, could I say it this way? It's not rehearsed. I really don't like to say anything without thought. But I have, thankfully, embraced the Cayman community where there are 1,000 different nationalities. And through them, I have not been off island in what feels like centuries. But I've taken vacations because I can sit in fellowship with these friends. I learn about their culture, I taste their foods. And more so in the last few years than ever. And so I've get this experience. I get exposed to language, I get exposed to different things. And through them, their love and appreciation for Cayman, what Cayman is, sadly, what we as Caymanians, generational, have taken for granted, the safety, the security, the fact that our beaches are clean, that there are still undeveloped areas. Could I say through you that to Caymanians, that we start to relook, rethink, and start to appreciate once again why our parents and their parents and our forefathers, why they work so hard. That's devotion, that service, that sacrifice. From serving in the wars, even in the American Civil War, the Spanish-American War, World War I, they did that because they understood the importance of the freedom.
And so what we're finding now is that a lot more people and a lot of our younger generation is coming up and saying, you know what, I wasn't taught this in school and I need to know about my Caymanian history. So we're trying to evolve that and make sure that we get that information out there to them. Yeah. But that's a whole nother topic.
And it ties in, but Culture Day, what is it?
So Culture Day is a day that we celebrate all of the 135 plus nationalities that make up this melting pot we call home.
Yeah, with that in mind, right? I've actually tried to ask, I haven't officially made a request, how many? And I've got different numbers from different unofficial, official sources. So maybe one of the things that we can define between now and then
is exactly how many.
Exactly. I think it's 142, but I could be wrong.
It's. I know it's 135 plus. So 142 might be...
Or 42 and a half, depending if you count it. I always say, she's not going to like that if I say that. So you will do that between us. We'll find out by Friday.
By Friday.
Actually, by Wednesday, because you're back on Wednesday.
Yes. So the ministry is hosting its annual, and this is something this is our second year doing it, our annual Culture Day in conjunction with Cayman National Cultural Foundation's Dress for Culture Day, which is their fundraiser. The day will see a mini festival green. So the lawn of the old glass house, I'm turning into a little festival green of our own right here in Georgetown. I'm going to have a main stage. There's going to be food for sale. There's going to be crafts for display and on sale from different nationalities, from Cayman. All of that's going to be there. I've got performances on the main stage throughout the day. So we're starting at 9:15 with the photo on the steps of Gab with people in their national wear. And then we move right over to the festival green. We have our opening ceremony, and then we open right into performances starting at about 9:30 or so.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a day filled with culture, not just Caymanian. There's going to be Caymanian, there's Jamaican, there's Indian. Sorry, and I still have people coming and saying we want to be a part of it.
Right.
So, it's going to, and what we envision this evolving. I'm envisioning that, our third one in next March, I'll have to not just have one side of glass house lawn, but I'll cover the whole, lawn, because so many people will want to be involved. We've sent it out to the schools. We have the schools performing. They just came up. They're just off the heels of NCFA, so they are all ready to, show their first place winning pieces and so on and so forth. And so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. It is, I think, increasingly, as you shared, many of us, not just as students, but thankfully then, not just as students who are at university, but we as adults, are only now recognizing how much either A, we've forgotten about things, and how much we actually didn't know. I make no bones about it. I will endeavor, thanks to Mr. Brownfield in particular, to make my writing as best as I can.
Mm-hmm.
But my speech has to reflect who I am. I love Miss Norma dearly. I say words a particular way, and I'm very conscious to continue. I may spell culture a different way, but I say culture. There are other words, and they're important. My friends like yours who are from other parts, I love to hear them speak, right? It doesn't make them unintelligible. It doesn't make them ignorant. It makes them, to me, respectful of who they are, what they are. And the parliaments across the globe, as you listen to the people speak, they sound like the country in which they represent. Unlike sometimes, I wonder what the hell is happening here, across the globe.
Yep.
Cayman is offensive. If you can't if you can't say Cayman, take a lesson. And that offends somebody, tough.
Yeah.
But with that in mind, we also have, as we shared, so many wonderful people from all walks of life.
Yes.
And we can embrace them. Our discussion prior shows how much we are alike, yet we focus on the differences. So Friday would be that way to see us in a sea of love and, cultural.
Yeah, it's going to be, I look forward to Culture Day just because when you walk into Gab, because it's also our dress down day on a Friday, no one feels a way to put on their national, dress or put on something that represents where they are from. And to see that sea of differences that make us one is just beautiful.
Yeah, man. It is important, to see that oneness.
Yes.
I think to individuals like our seafarers who have traveled the globe and spent extended, the time at sea, to our Caymanians now who have, resettled and have grandchildren in foreign lands. They're still there, but their heart and their affinity, as much as they're aligned to their new adopted country, there is still a lot of affinity for here. We need to do the same when we come here, and maybe this way we can see it. So with the activities from 9:15 with a photo on the steps of the $100 million building out front there, facing west, you come across to the lawn area.
The lawn, and it all starts.
All right, food. Now you can't have Is there food?
See,
is there food? Is there food?
I printed out my menus just because I know you were going to ask
of
about
course.
food.
Well, come on, man cannot live by bread alone, So, but it's a good start.
So, of course, we will have our local favorites. Gigi's Kitchen will be there, and Lulu's Kitchen will be there with our local Caymanian cuisine. We also have Denise Flavor, which will be there with the Jamaican cuisine. And we have Jay's Food Vault. I hope I have that company's name right. And I don't even think I said it right. I think it's Jay's. But she's doing a twist on Caymanian style food. So she does a lot of street style food that are, she takes the Caymanian style beef and she puts it on breadfruit nachos.
Yeah, reinterpreting something and presenting.
So, the stewed turtle and Johnny cake bowl. So it's not a whole meal. It's a little sample, but it takes you right there.
Just to give you enough.
Just to give you enough.
Man.
And then, of course, Island Delights is going to be there with conch fritters. You can't have you can't have nothing with food without having conch fritters. And then we'll have 2 dessert stations. So Dulce Treats will have the kind of eclectic desserts, cocoa cassava cake, vegan mango cheesecake, tres leche, as well as some agua frescas. And then Jazzy Cakes, who comes in with our cassava cake and bottle of tarts and those.
This is Friday morning.
This is Friday.
Is there a preview before that we can get? Today's on a Monday.
If you've ever had been to any one of the things that I've had with food, 9 times out of 10, some of this has been around.
I know, that's why I'm waiting until Friday.
So you gotta wait till Friday, but we're gonna post this afternoon all the menus on our social media pages, so you can see exactly who is selling what, the prices they're selling it for, all of that stuff, so you know which vendor to come in and settle yourself for. I think I still have one more vendor coming. That's an Indian vendor to start to. They wanted to do samosas, and so I'm just waiting to hear from them. So we're going to have a nice...
And this is the beautiful part. I mean, it's a Friday. We, towards the end of the month, so some of us may have already or getting close to our payday. We deserve our treat. We can come out, we can sort of sample not just the festivities, but the foods as well.
Yes.
And I think increasingly as I listen to more and more employers, they're starting to appreciate the importance of integration, acclimation, assimilation, but they're getting their team to build that camaraderie. And as here is central located anywhere, they can walk across. They can come over.
Very
if they
much
choose to park, but we have a wonderful parking around the back.
Yeah.
The free shuttle service that'll come over. They can enjoy, an extended lunch. And leave renewed to face the end of Friday.
Yeah. And I mean, we don't just feed you, give you a little entertainment. We also give you ways to win stuff too. Because Dress for Culture Day, we've got 2 different competitions happening. So Dress for Culture Day is a CNCF fundraiser. So if you visit any one of their social media pages, you'll see the ad for that, and they have 3 categories. So company and organization, school, class, or individual, and it's how are you representing your culture?
Right.
I remember last year when they did it, there was, I want to say it was a preschool that won for school, and it was so cute, all of the little ones dressed in their different cultural wear. So they have prizes for that. You can again go on to CNCF's Facebook page, their Instagram page, their website, which is Cayman Culture, and find out more information about that. And we also have it posted on the ministry's social media pages. But then we also thought about how we wanted to get the people inside GAB involved. And so we're having a separate Dress for Culture competition for just core government. And so we're going to post that today. We want them to submit their photos via Instagram, post their stories, just tagging us and using our hashtags. And I had I decided on a little modest winning for the winning photo. However, my chief officer and deputy chief officer had their meeting this morning, and my deputy came out and she said, "So what do you said you had as a prize for the government competition?" I said, "Well, I was thinking of a little gift certificate to one of the restaurants." She goes, "No. Winning government ministry, 10 plus individuals in that ministry or department. They've got to be in core government. We're going to give them $1,000 worth of gift cards."
Wow. See, this is how we incentivize, reward, and recognize, right?
Yeah.
So for the government department, core government, the winning
ministry or department will get $1,000 worth of gift cards. They can divvy it up who wants which one. There'll be a couple various businesses we'll go to and get those gift cards. But yeah.
All right.
So
I like it.
This will be posted in government building later today. But yeah, we've got two different.
You can tell us more Wednesday when you come back again.
Yes.
How the criteria about that and how we navigate that. We had a message from one of our listeners relative to sort of how we would as Caymanians dress. Some have shared there were just two messages. Sorry, so I don't want to exaggerate. Well, I put on my Cayman T-shirt, and another person said, "Well, what is it? Is it the khaki pants and the shirt and the hat? I mean, what?" and it's a real question I think some would have, right, in terms of how we present ourselves and what is that traditional, attire.
I giggled just now because last year, facing the same question, I got up that morning. And I said, what am I supposed to wear to this?
Someone sent a picture of Ray Bankham, but one of his older pictures where he has a particular thing, but I don't think that's appropriate for public.
So I did just what you said just now. Yeah. I wore my Caymanian shirt. Mm-hmm. I took a pair of my partner's khaki pants, rolled them up, so they look like,
you got your wampers on?
I had my wampers on, and I had a straw hat.
There you go, man. There you go.
So,
you use your ground basket now?
I had one of those, but I just didn't walk with it all the time.
I got one that I treasure. I wish I had the one my mother had, but that was used. Mm-hmm. This one's for display. So
yeah. So yeah, it's your interpretation of your culture, your cultural wear. Because some Caymanians would say, and if you look at the photo here, you've got the checkered print, the tartan. That's our cultural wear too. Mm-hmm. But who's to say you can get that at this point? So interpret your cultural dress.
Some dungareens or a pair of khakis or something, right? Mm-hmm. There you go. Well, as you close the discussion, looking forward to Wednesday when you return.
Yes.
Give us more information. Hopefully that other vendor might come on.
Yes.
If there's space.
And I'll have a full schedule at that point to tell you what's happening on the main stage. Just about every hour on the hour, we're going to have something happening straight through till 3 o'clock.
And possibly, I'm hearing you say that some of the vendors would have provided you with sort of samples just for us to taste test to make sure. Yeah, concreters, a little bit of the sweet stuff in particular. That Johnny cake and turtle sounds good. So depending, you talk to your people.
I'll talk to my people.
I see what Miss Santijo. I hope you realize how much we appreciate all of your dedication, the work you did, with the heritage celebrations relative to, I still call it Paris Month, to the constant, promotion, unity. Thank you very, very much. And the laughter that you bring, you impart a level of information in a most memorable way. So thank you.
Thank you too. It's a team. We work as a team, and we, take everything in strides.
All right.
So I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday, giving you some more information. Anybody who out in the listening audience who wants to get in more information, you can reach out to me in the ministry, 244-3240, or email me at ventisha.conley@gov.ky.
That Conley, one N and two L's?
One neck and two legs.
One neck and two legs. I know Conley's are spelled something different, so it's the one neck and two legs. ventisha.conley@gov.ky.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
No
Always
problem.
a pleasure to see you.
Thanks for having me.
The hair is coming back in nicely.
Yes.
A truly dedicated, committed civil servant like so many. So she wears many hats. All right, let's pause and take a break. When we come back, we'll close out the last half hour with some open line. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Are you a Caymanian job seeker searching for employment? All jobs, whether full-time, part-time, temporary, or permanent, will be required to advertise on the Jobs Cayman portal. Visit work.ky. That's worc.ky to start your job search to see all available jobs or to apply. For assistance in registering or to learn more, call toll-free 1-800-534-9672 or customer care at 945-9672. 945-9672 today.
Busy, busy, busy. Feel like there's not just enough hours in the day. Savannah Pharmacy, service to make your life easier. Now you can WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. And pickup is just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. Savannah Pharmacy, wholesome values with modern conveniences.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. The ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom. The land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Follow Radio Cayman on Twitter. All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Follow us at twitter.com/Radio Cayman.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Brought to you by Tropical Plaza on Smith Road.
The Cayman Islands Institute of Professional Accountants welcomed 3 new members to its council while also appointing a trio of officers on Friday, March 10th during its 2023 annual general meeting at the Georgetown Yacht Club. Rennie Can will continue to serve as CPAF president while Rosa Nolan will serve as vice president and James George as secretary until the next AGM. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines and news elsewhere. Central banks have rushed to keep cash flowing through the world's financial systems after the failures of 2 U.S. banks and the rescue of Credit Suisse sent shockwaves across global markets. 6 central banks, including the Bank of England, announced they would boost the flow of U.S. dollars from today. And Miami Beach officials will meet today to discuss curfew restrictions for this coming weekend after a state of emergency was declared on Sunday. A brief curfew was imposed in the city after spring break left 2 fatal shootings on the weekend. The curfew was in place from midnight on Sunday until 10 today. This marks the second year Miami Beach declared a state of emergency related to violence during spring break. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Brought to you by Tropical Plaza on Smith Road.
Classic Innovation Beauty and Barber Shop in Tropical Plaza. Full service salon specializing in braiding, weaving, and all things beautiful. Bring out your unique beauty. Conveniently located upstairs Tropical Plaza on Smith Road. Easy lunchtime wash and blow. Avoid the evening traffic with a pedi or take in a full service hair treatment. Kids hair service and special occasions also available. Book your next service at 233-5572 or 326-5572 and take advantage of the Happy Wednesday specials at Classic Innovation Beauty and Barber Shop. Savings on pedicures, women's and men's hair care. Classic Innovation Beauty and Barber Shop, located upstairs Tropical Plaza on Smith Road.
Things come up. That's life. But it doesn't mean I can't show up. From a runny nose, stubbed toes, to earache woes, headaches, backaches, and tummy aches. When things come up, Best Health Pharmacy over-the-counter solutions get you back in the game. Best Health Pharmacy, located at Crown Square Plaza on Eastern Avenue, across from Edie's Decor. Best Health Pharmacy, your health, your convenience is their priority. Best Health Pharmacy also offers free prescription delivery anywhere in Georgetown and West Bay. Call 949-1301 or WhatsApp your prescription to 924-5358.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. Thanks too for being a part of the discussion. And if you wish, give us a shout and share your thoughts with us. Let's ensure that not only the phone lines are available and accessible, but you as a part and parcel of our community feel the invitation and welcome to share. Many of us listen, a few of us actively and publicly engage, partly because we understand that still there are those who feel vulnerable and victim, others who recognize that even though what they're saying, it may not be the best time, nor in the best place, nor to the best person. But nonetheless, it doesn't mean that if it's true, it should not, in fact, be shared. That takes what one of our wonderful callers always, questions. Where is the courage? And I believe when I look at my own lineage, there's great courage from the bona fide seafarers to the captains, but to all, male and female, young and heart alike. We stand with resilience and resolve. So I invite you, if this is the country in which we find ourselves, and if it's only our intent to make as much for as long as we can, or we intend to leave as quickly, that while we're here, let's make it the very best. Because in a very selfish way, think of it. If the space in which we occupy is better because we're here and we're doing our best to make it better, then in a selfish way, is it not better for us? We enjoy greater safety and security and stability. We enjoy a sense of being able to move in a presence of mind without feeling, as many of us understand, the stress and the pressures of being in a place that makes us weary, makes us a bit reticent. Think of it. Have you ever been somewhere where, you just take, for instance, you haven't been to your childhood home in the longest time and you're visiting with your siblings and your parents that you haven't seen, and your favorite chair in the back or hammock on the porch, and you just had that delicious sampling of your mother's favorite dish, and you lay in the hammock and you just drift off, and then you realize an hour or two later, and for sometimes it may only be 15 minutes, but you feel so refreshed and renewed because your mind was at ease. I say that to share as I invite you to call 949-8037, 949-6990. Or of course, you can use the toll-free line 1-800-534-8255, or you can WhatsApp 925-3261. Let's go to the phones. Hey, welcome. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hello.
Hey, my friend. How are you today?
I good, boy. I good, man. How your weekend was?
Very, very productive and very thankful. Sadly, I didn't take up the invitation to go and enjoy the papaws or the tamarinds. I instead worked all day Saturday and Sunday, and now I'm wondering, am I being sensible and productive, or am I being stupid and neglecting relations?
I don't want to answer all that here, but I can tell you.
Go ahead, man.
You sound like you're losing your touch.
You think so? Boy, I don't know.
Because food is something we're not supposed to unknown, especially if it's our local food. So
that's the thing,
Anything to do with the little snacks like the tamarind ball and things like that.
Man, and I tell you the truth, I am so. There's a word that come to mind, but I won't say that because people these days record it, right? But it was ill-advised to not even respond. That I even know feel bad. How can I? But you know what? Tomorrow is another day. Maybe there's a promise of that.
Exactly. I'll leave you to that.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I just want to mention a few things. I was waiting to see if my friend later they were gonna call first, because I like to listen to her first.
Always, always.
Yeah, man. I like to hear her. But I just want to say one thing. We had a agriculture show here weekend, and I drove around through the island. I was more disappointed with how the size of the roads had looked with the garbage.
Jeez.
I am so displeased, Sterling, with how people is treating this island. I know for certain that those 35, 40 people that are out there, some is young, some is up in the age, but they're still trying to work every week to clean the roads and make it look decent for people, the tourists, visitors, and about it that come around. The place looking nice. And I can't believe the amount of bottles, dinner plates, garbage bags. I don't know if someone is just deliberately doing that, but this whole nasty habit they have because they know that people are doing the work, and if they are envious of that or whatever the circumstances, I don't know. But I hope that something will soon be done, because this road on Kimmenbrook here is getting quite busy, and I'm quite sure someone got to see something to speak up. It's such a sad situation on a small, beautiful island, and all of a sudden, this is what we have come to. And I know through my times driving on this road that it wasn't like that before. This population is now starting to exceed, and now the island is taking to a downturn. You have the people that cleaning, they're dragging stuff through the street in their vehicles, and it blowing all over the place. They don't stop and pick up, or they don't return and get it on the way. And I'm quite sure they got to return where they drive and left from, and they see it on the side of the road, they don't even pick it up. It has gotten so bad, Sterling. I don't know what going to happen or who going to step in to do something, but I hope somebody try to get the courage and try to call in and report these people. I don't know. I don't know what more to say regarding that, Sterling, because you hear the companies came on is a much larger place, but to know that this place here is nice as we try to keep it. I always have this motto that I used to use before, don't trash our treasure, and that is what they're doing today. That is basically what they're doing. The early treasure that they come here, they trash it, and they don't care about it. If the garbage truck is down for a week, they take the garbage and they drive and they throw it out the window next to somebody because they know that they got to do a pickup. Why just don't stop and put inside a bin, or go to one of those areas where the government have one of the dumpsters, like up by the football field, and throw the garbage inside that? Because if the responsibility is not on the truck or the DEH, just go and put your garbage somewhere, because they can't go to the dump. Put it in one of the dumpsters. Not take the garbage and throw it out on the side of the road and make the place look like this.
Well, as I listen to you, I'm looking at a message from someone who, and I had to squint my eyes to make sure it was not sent prior. While you were talking, I think sparked them to respond. But they're saying that's the same thing that they've seen here on Grand Cayman. And is it, the person's asking, is it the increased population? Is it the difficulty with accessing sufficient refuse collection sites? Is it just the mindset and mentality? Now, the last point, I think, if I also heard you say it, is implicit. Is it a spitefulness, a deliberate maliciousness to say, you know what, let's just toss it here, someone will pick it up, or you know what, let's let it look bad? I mean, what do you think it is?
It could be either way, Sterling, because let's take, for instance, this way. FDEH clamp down on the people that doing the trash, putting out their trash for the trucks to pick up, and those people doesn't pay that fine to DEH in order for the garbage truck to dispose of their garbage. The people using the anger and just driving in and throwing it out anywhere alongside the road.
Yeah. Well, as you said, I'm looking at some pictures someone else is sending, and this is, hopefully I see it correctly, it looks like an apartment complex with the proper bins and the like, and some other pictures look like going through a neighborhood. And the comment, I think, applies to both. That this person has shared, I'm paraphrasing, that despite you having, as in the complex that I presume the person either lives or visit, or these garbage, people still don't dispose of their trash properly. They leave it for the garbage people. They just dump it in there with or without it being bagged or without caring. So is that an issue on us as people in terms of being sensitive and considerate and sensible relative to how we dispose of it?
And the thing about it, Sterling, government can't help the people with everything.
Right.
I know people need help. But if they're working and they can go and buy themselves a little $35 garbage bin to put their stuff in, I don't see why they shouldn't spare themselves enough money to buy a bin, put their garbage in. I used to work for DEH some years ago, a couple of years back now, about 2 years ago. I used to work, and I had to resign because of the stress and the torture that you got to go through. The people just taking the garbage, putting it down on the side of the road.
Right.
You get to that point, you got to pick the stuff up, and it all over, it tear up because dogs tear it up, and it all over the place, or they didn't tie their bags and they're blowing all over the place.
But even that, some people just throw it out, right?
Some people just throw it out on the ground, and it became such a stress on me. I say, you know something, I don't need money that bad to go and work that kind of way. And if you notice it today, and I said it before, if it's something that people just envy other ones getting work or whatever, it is a sad situation to know that they call themselves Caymanians and doing this kind of thing.
let me
before you go.
No, you go ahead, man. You go ahead. You go ahead.
Let's take for instance on the south coast of Kimmonbrook. I never call the south coast of Kimmonbrook the south side. I call it South Beach because it's nothing but tourists mostly live on that side. All tourists. In Sterling, you can very rarely go on that south side and find trash because it only at a certain point where other people use the south side to drive. Other distance, mostly Americans use that distance to drive. You never find it dirty. It's just where these certain individuals use this north coast of Kimmonbrook and just throw their garbage literally in the way they drive on the road. In a way, Sterling, listen, when I was working DEH, I had to come home and tell my wife, you would be surprised the stuff I pick up off of the side of the road, Sterling. Women personal things. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
On the side of the road, Sterling, that is outrageous. That is ridiculous. I don't know, the mentality of the people, Sterling, is just so trashy. It is hard to believe unless people has witnessed it. Sorry, go ahead.
No. You speak to what we're talking, and I was just going to maybe highlight something. But to that point, though, is that, and it's not intended to offend people, but as I listen to you, I'm asking, as people, are we conscious of what we're doing? And that, is it that our mentality is, well, someone else is going to come along and clean this up? Is it that, well, I don't live here, so it doesn't really matter? In terms of living here, I mean, we live in that part of the island, so I'm just driving through here. Is it that as a people, we don't have that sensitivity, that we need to be a little bit more considerate and more education about the implications of what we're doing, more enforcement? I mean, what is it?
Sterling, that word consideration is no longer in any body vocabulary. They have no consideration. When I was working for DH, in certain times, like 1 week you would be on the truck, next week you'll be doing roadside cleaning. And one time I pick up a bag, a dinner. It was a bag from Brock Reef. And in this bag, the bag was literally open with 3 or 2, I can't remember how much dinner plates were in it. But I could see a receipt in the bag. And I took the little clapping machine that you pick up the dirt stuff out of it. I just took that and clapped the receipt and took it out of the bag and read it. Sterling, you would be surprised. The name that on that piece of paper, a big shop here in Kimmonbrook. Sterling, the stupidity of people is so hard to decipher. It is so difficult to decipher the stupidity of people. They don't even realize they're throwing the garbage out and leaving their receipt in the bag. Can you imagine? That is stupidity.
Yeah.
It is pure stupidity.
Yeah, I think maybe we need to rethink that and recognize that perhaps start at this spectrum. There's a natural disaster, hurricane has come through, God forbid. There is a lot of wind and rain, and maybe the debris is now everywhere. So to what extent that garbage that maybe picked up by somebody, maybe the wonderful folks at DEH or the volunteers, but for that period of time, those items and that debris has created an even greater health hazard. Bottles are broken, metal cans are now rusted, and it could lead to cuts, to the infestation of rodents and other pests. I wonder if we were to think from that perspective, what if that was to happen? What would be the consequence to our health at that point? Would we take a different approach?
Well, even to look at that point, Sterling, as a former firefighter, during most of the people, I shouldn't say in it, but most people should have the common sense to know during a disaster like a hurricane or a storm brewing down on these islands, you are not, or in a border, should not put no trash out.
Right.
Unless it's a pickup day for that truck. Otherwise, nothing should be put out during a storm, because it becomes a projectile during that storm, and it's a danger, something for someone home, or even a passing vehicle, or someone trying to walk to get where they got to get before weather come down. In these kind of things, people need to stop and realize, why am I doing this? Am I benefiting anything out of it? Or am I trying to make this country look worse than what it is supposed to be?
Well, I think that needs to be a question that is asked and answered, one that has a renewed emphasis. But to your point, not only putting out the garbage on those times of inclement weather, but what about the garbage that has been littering our roadways and undeveloped areas? Are we thinking of that impact? Before we take the final break, any other thoughts you want to share with us?
No, I'll leave it till another day so someone else can get on.
No, man, listen, always appreciate your insight. I hope people, would recognize that what you're sharing, may, if we take it on board, help us all in terms of improving our standard of living. So thanks very much, all right?
No problem, bro. Thanks, man.
All right, have a good afternoon. Final break. When we come back, who else wants to share a thought? Well, hope to hear from you. Stay tuned.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
Look at you, listening to the radio, tuning in, getting stuff done. Total doer. Maybe you're driving, maybe you're getting your oil changed or grabbing some chicken. Maybe you're doing something that's nobody's business but yours. Hey, that's cool. We're all doing something. Now you can join a whole new community of doers doing more on findyellow.com. With custom search, local experts, and trusted reviews, whatever you're doing, get it done on findyellow.com.
Freedom, Cayman Rack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Row Variety, centrally located in Tropical Plaza on Smith Road, carrying a wide range of household items, bathroom accessories, towels, clocks, handbags, clothes, shoes, jewelry, and more. And and more and more. You can buy from the big box retailers or support local. The better deals come from shopping local. Row Variety Store, Tropical Plaza, Smith Road. Telephone 924-9553.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Good afternoon and welcome back, and thanks for joining us, and thanks too for being a part of a discussion as we invite you, to share your thoughts. 949-837, 949-6990, or toll free with the compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255, and then of course you can WhatsApp your thoughts, whether it's a voice note you want us to play or whether it's something you want us to read. 925-3261. And to the gentleman of this call, what do we think about his comments? How do we take it on board? He's sharing that it's that mantra that I think many of us at least heard, hopefully many subscribe to. And the scripture talks about, cleanliness is next to godliness. There's this wonderful lady who has said it, and it echoes and resonates because, our mothers have said it. She said, not just because you're poor doesn't mean you have to be nasty. I still recall that wonderful evening, she invited us into the house. We, walking through the wonderful lasagna yard, and, she's preparing her home. It doesn't matter that it was a long work day. It doesn't matter anything else. That idea that you keep your space clean, not to show off to anybody, but because it's a representation and reflection of who you are. And maybe to the caller's comments, is that part of the challenge? Is it that for some of us we don't have enough pride in ourselves? Is it that we are, a little offended, a little bit insulted, a little bit, for what it's worth, a little bit, feeling away? And so to demonstrate that level of, how you would say, we don't make sure the place don't look so good. Well, not the best way to do it, right? Because then that's a reflection on us. And if it's malicious, then why? Think of it. They say it takes a lot less effort to smile, a lot less muscles, a lot less energy, but yet more of us seem to be more willing because we don't think there's much to smile about. Well, same with the littering. Probably easier to keep that trash in a car, because I'm sure, at one of our next stops, especially if we're at some point going home, there must be a trash can that we can put it in. But is it better and easier to throw it out the window, or when we finish eating, if we're outside, just toss it, and leave it in the ground? Now, if that's a reflection on our value, well, really it's not a good stock in trade. And then think to the beautification committees and all the wonderful people who go out on a regular basis. I can think of the ladies and the gentlemen who in the West Bay committee, they invited and included me, and for time to time I would get to be a part of it. But their commitment and resolve, 6 o'clock on many Saturday mornings, and many, not just weekends but after work, not just in their areas but specifically as they make their way home, they'll stop and they'll go to their way to pick it up. Just like many others, we see many individuals as they're out exercising, or they may go for a little fresh air and they take a trash bag, whether they're walking the dogs or otherwise. Now, it's good that they do that, but isn't it sad that there's so much trash that whether they go at 6 o'clock in the morning and by 9 o'clock, same morning, on the same path that many have put countless hours to now make it, garbage free, that in less than a few hours, it's as if nobody cleaned up the area. Something seriously isn't right with that picture. And what is it, and how do we address it? Well, that's on each of us individually to do something about it. All right, I invite you to enjoy a very safe and productive week. Don't measure your success by the material things that you've acquired, nor by the amount of money that you've made. Some say it isn't so much how much you make, but what you save. And let that savings not only be financial, let it be in time and in relationships. Let that savings be, at the end of the day, it's your sanity and civility. It's your sensibility and the notion that as you contribute, you looked at in a positive way. And as you leave this realm, that two things. One, you may be honestly, remembered in a positive light. But those that you leave behind, that they will be looked at. And when people speak of you to them and look at them, they see something a little bit more positive. We may or may not, depending on our own subscription, believe that we will be conscious of what transpires after we leave. But going on the premise that we may not be able to consciously impact that, perhaps if the people that we leave behind, from friends to siblings to those, that we've enjoyed, private interludes, well, perhaps they will be able to recall us in a very fond way. Maybe that'll be the legacy. All right, tomorrow, our good friends from the Department of Labor and Pensions will join us. We're talking about a number of things. Looking forward to that discussion. 1:30, we'll tell you about KMIs, and then we'll get into some art. Hey, that's the discussion for tomorrow. Have a very, very enjoyable afternoon. God's willing, we'll see you tomorrow.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village, convenient opening hours including Sundays